Hi yogis, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassandra and today I'm doing an intermediate to advanced vinyasa flow, a powerful practice. We're going to get into some arm balances, more specifically working our way up to Eka Pada 2, Eka Pada Kundinyasana 2, one of my all-time favorite arm balances. So if you've never tried this one before, you can still attempt this class, but just keep in mind I am gearing this towards more advanced practitioners. So short flow, definitely going to work our core, our shoulders, our arm strength, and we're also going to open our hips and lengthen the hamstrings so that we can get into this pretty strong but really fun arm balancing flow. I'm not using any props. You shouldn't really need any props for this kind of practice, but of course, as with all of my videos here on YouTube, always a good idea to have a block or two somewhere close by. So we're just going to start right away on hands and knees in tabletop pose. Foundation in tabletop is extremely important. This is the same foundation you're going to be maintaining in down dog, in plank pose, and also in your arm balances. So if you spread the fingertips wide, I like to align the wrist crease with the top of the mat. So middle and index fingers roughly pointing towards the top of the mat, and really dig into the fingertips and knuckles so that you feel like little tiger paws. You're clawing into the earth, and this will help you properly engage the forearms and the wrists, especially those of you who complain of wrist pain, which is quite common in a yoga practice. We need to be extra mindful of that for arm balancing flows. Cat and cow, nice and simple. Inhale to drop the belly. Exhale, round. And just go at your own pace, making this movement smooth and intuitive, getting the length of your inhale to be just as long as the exhale. So arm balances, of course, demand quite a bit from our shoulders and our arms. So in this cat and cow, try to feel the motion in the chest, in the shoulders, and in the upper back. Exhaling to round and contract, and we'll just add on a little bit. Next time you breathe in, drop the belly, lift the gaze, and also kick your right heel up towards the sky. So squeezing into the glutes, engaging and strengthening the hamstrings. And then exhale, pull your knee to your nose, strengthening the hip flexors, really key for Eka Pada 2. Twice more like this. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, contract, draw in. Last one. Exhale, squeeze and contract. Re-extend your right leg up. Just bring your spine neutral so lower belly draws in, and start to create some big circles with that right knee. Lubricating the right hip joints. Really no right or wrong way to do this one. So I don't know what's happening today. There's like 30 ants on my mat. So if you see me wiping the mat a lot in this practice, it's because I'm trying to avoid getting some bites. Take about one more big circle, and then we're going to take a lizard pose stretch. So you can step your right foot to the outer edge of your right hand, roughly aligning your knee over the top of your ankle. I like to come up high onto the fingertips here, melting the hips forward, lifting the chin and chest up, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. So starting to connect to hip flexibility, length through the spine. And Eka Pada 2 does require a lot of hamstring flexibility as well. So let's make this into a hamstring stretch. You're going to straighten your right leg, and instead of staying facing forward towards the top of the mat, just bring your hands a little bit over towards the left. I like to bend a little through the right knee, rock the hips all the way back as if you were going to melt back towards your heel, and then counter reach as you extend the fingertips forward and fold it down. So instead of pushing that right leg out, I'm pressing down into my heel and rooting it back as if I'm trying to drag my heel towards the sit bone. And you should really get a nice hamstring engagement from that action. 3 deep breaths, lengthen out through the spine without collapsing in the upper back. Lift the chin and chest back up, facing forward, bend into that right knee, and just find your tabletop pose once more. Cat and cow, adding with the left leg. So as you inhale, kick your left heel up to the sky, drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, contract chin to chest, 2 more here. Inhale, squeeze the glutes, press up through the heel. Exhale, keep your shoulders over your wrists. Last one. Keep those tiger paws, so pressing into the fingertips and knuckles. Exhale, contract. And then extend your left leg up and back. Start to trace some big circles with that left knee, seeing if you can touch the left shoulder and upper arm, because that is what we will be doing in our Eka Pada 2. So I will maybe be annoying, but I will be reminding you of your foundation with your hands. It's very easy to just by default let all of our weight sink into our wrists. So the more you can engage your fingers and strengthen through the forearms, the easier it'll be. Next time, step your left foot forward to the outer edge of the palm, lizard on the second side. Knee is over the ankle, toes are still pointing straight forward. Come up high into the fingertips, drop the hips down, lift up. One of my favorite poses, to get deep into the hips, into the hip flexors, and the inner groin a little as well. Stretching into the hamstrings. Straighten your left leg and walk your hands over to the right. Keep a little bend in that left knee. Root down through your heel. Drag it back to the sit bones and extend your fingertips further out in front of you as you fold. So this is more of an active, dynamic stretch as opposed to a passive stretch that we would do in yin yoga, for example, or sometimes even in a vinyasa flow class. I'm asking that you really contract and engage the muscles in your left leg rather than just letting it be soft and letting gravity do the work for you. We'll do those a little more towards the end of the class. Lengthen out. And let's lift all the way back up. Make your way forward into your plank pose. So palms shoulder width distance apart, feet are hip width distance apart. Draw the low belly in towards the low back, more ants, and reach your tailbone towards your heels. Push down into the arms, spread the shoulder blades wide, and then extend your right leg up, lift it a couple inches off the floor. Exhale, tap your knee to your nose, round and contract. Inhale, right leg extends back. Exhale, right knee to your right shoulder. Inhale, three-legged plank. Exhale, right knee to your left elbow or left shoulder. Inhale, reach it back, and let's step our right foot forward in between the palms. Back knee lowers down to the floor, up into your low lunge. And keep the rib cage drawing in. Sphere mudra, so you're just pressing the fingertips together, bending into the elbows, bending into the knuckles, and apply 5 to 10 pounds of pressure. So you're pushing your fingertips into each other a little bit. And then let your hands lower in front of the heart. Tailbone is reaching down, push the hips forward and down. With the back toes curled under, you're gonna make your way into your high lunge, maintaining that same sphere mudra. Lower abdominals are hugging in, keep applying pressure in the fingertips. You'll feel the pectorals engaged. Moving into your twist as you exhale, twist over to the right. Inhale to face forward. Exhale, open to the left. Once more on each side. Forward. Right as you exhale. Inhale to center. Last one. Exhale, twist to the left. Come all the way back forward. Reach your arms up. Just take a breath or two here. Sinking the hips down low, strong through your legs. Feeling the power from the earth, root to rise. Three-legged dog, plant the palms, right leg goes all the way up and back, bend your knee, open up that hip. Squeezing into the glutes, lift it up a little higher. Straighten and square that right leg, downward facing dog. Feet are hip width distance apart. Let's take our vinyasa, inhale to plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga, either all the way or halfway. Cobra or upward facing dog. We meet downward facing dog. From your down dog, move forward into plank pose, shoulders over the top of the ribs, tiger pause, three-legged plank, left leg up. Exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale, three-legged plank, left knee to your left shoulder. Inhale, shoot it back. Exhale, twist. Inhale, shoot it back into your low lunge. Left foot forward, right knee down, arms up. So same thing here. Front ribs are knitting in, strong through your core. Find that sphere mudra. Pushing into the fingertips, engaging the shoulders. So a really great way to prepare the upper body for the arm balances that we'll be playing with. And once you have your balance, you can lift up into your high lunge. So floating the right knee off the ground. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist to the left. So right elbow forward, left elbow back. Inhale, center. Exhale to twist. Once more on each side, face forward. To the left with your breath. Keep pushing into the fingertips, bending the knuckles a little bit. Twisting over to the right. Face forward and reach your arms up. Crescent lunge. Three-legged dog, left leg goes up and back, plant the palms, bend your left knee, open up that hip. Soften your neck, let your head be heavy. Straighten and square that left leg and lower it for downward dog. Let's take our flow. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, stoking the fire a little more. Right leg rises, keep it straight and square. Exhale, tap your right knee to your right shoulder, coming forward to plank. Twice more. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to your shoulder, same thing. Inhale, lift it up and back. Exhale, knee to shoulder, hold here. Option to drop to chaturanga and hold. Bend the elbows. So this is very similar to what we'll be doing in Eka Pada 2. Push the arms straight, back into your three-legged dog, and step your right foot forward in between the hands to the top of the mat. Find your wide-legged forward fold. So both feet spin parallel to the shoulder edges of your mat. Walk your hands forward in line with the heels and soften down. Unlocking the knees so we're not sinking into our joints. Try to draw into the midline. Now lift the chin and chest up halfway. You're going to walk towards the back of the mat for your pyramid fold. So your left toes will point to the back of the mat. Back foot is about at a 45-degree angle or so, and just fold it down. So we're trying to get a little deeper into the hamstrings. That will be necessary pretty soon. A little bit or even a lot of a bend in that left leg is perfectly fine. Come all the way up, spin around, wide-legged fold. We'll go to pyramid onto the right. So right toes point to the top of the mat, back foot at a 45-degree angle, fold it down. Instead of pushing the feet away from each other, can you think of squeezing them into the center? Just a different way of engaging the hamstrings and engaging the legs. And we'll be coming into a quad stretch from here. Bend your right knee. You might need to slide the left foot a little further back. Left knee comes down to the mat. Circle your right arm all the way up and back. Catch a hold of your left foot and pull it in to the glutes. So I'm not lifting my hips up to meet the heel. I'm trying to keep my hips nice and low and instead bring the heel in towards me. Right shoulder is drawing back, so there's a bit of a twist, or quite a bit of a twist actually. Pay attention to the foundation in your left hand. Are you sinking all of the weight into your wrists? Push down into the fingertips and knuckles. One more deep belly breath. Carefully release the back foot. Bring your right hand back down to the floor to the inside of your right leg. You might need to toe heel the foot a little more. Hands are shoulder width distance apart. Curl the back toes under. Lift the back knee off the mat. And see if you can wiggle your right arm underneath your right leg, getting it as close to the shoulder or on top of the shoulder as you can. Tiger pause, and then just see if you can straighten or lift your right leg off the mat. Hold here for a few breaths. So this is why we need some pretty open hamstrings. This is very similar to what we'll be doing in Eka Pada 2. And we're going to come back to exactly where we were before, bringing the right knee to the right shoulder. So without dropping the foot to the mat, can you just circle it back around? Knee to the shoulder, into your plank pose, three-legged dog. Right leg goes all the way up and back. Downward facing dog. Take your vinyasa. Inhale, plank. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Down dog. Second side, left leg rises. Exhale, left knee to your left shoulder. Tap and hold. Twice more. Inhale. And exhale. Try to keep your hips low if you can. Inhale, lift it up and back. Exhale, squeeze it in. Hold here if you'd like to add on chaturanga arms. Keep pushing into the fingertips and knuckles. One more deep breath. Push the arms straight. Three-legged dog. Wide-legged fold. Step your left foot forward between the palms. Spin your feet parallel to the shorter edges of the mat and fold it down. And just make sure your toes and your heels are in line here. You can walk your hands back. Fingertips in line with the heels. Relax your head, maybe shake it out, yes and no. Drawing the shoulder blades down the back. And walk your hands forward to lift the chin and chest up. Pyramid pose to the back of the mat. So right toes point forward, back heel at a 45-degree angle, soften it down. So I do prefer to do a wider variation of pyramid pose, but you could always narrow your stance if you find that more appropriate for you. And lift and lengthen, pyramid to the other side, face the top of your mat. Left toes point forward, back heel grounds down, fold it in. Remember, you can always bend one or both knees. Coming to our quad stretch, wiggle the back toes a little bit, drop the back right knee to the mat. Keep your left knee over your ankle, circle the left arm all the way up and back. Catch a hold of the foot and draw it in. Keep your hips pressing forward and down, and continue to push into your big left toe so you're not totally rolling to the outer edge of that foot. It's just a different kind of engagement that we're looking for. Fingertips still spreading wide in that right hand. Left shoulder drawing down and away from the ear. Breathe deeply. Carefully let go of your right foot. Circle the arm back. Give yourself a little bit more space, so both palms to the inside of that leg. Lift the back knee off the mat, and then same thing as before. See if you can wrap and bring your left shoulder underneath your left knee, grounding your left hand on the outer edge of that foot. A little bit of chaturanga arms. Keep your back heel lifted off the mat, and then see if you can lift your left leg or left heel off the ground. As straight as you can. Gaze is steady, hold it there. Powerful way to engage the hamstrings. And then bring your left knee to your left shoulder, so circle that foot back into that plank pose, knee to the shoulder, keep it there. Three-legged dog, left leg up, downward facing dog. Take your vinyasa at your own pace. All right, we're getting ready for it. Right leg rises, warrior two. Right foot forward, back foot parallel to the short edge of your mat. Lift on up. So really wide with your legs, bend into that front knee, push it open, palms are facing down. Gaze forward over your right hand. Sink the hips a little deeper. And we'll take triangle pose. I'm going to keep it nice and wide. You can always narrow your stance if that feels better for you. Hips go back, slide the right hand down, left arm up. Think of spinning the rib cage up to the ceiling. Does not matter whether you're touching the floor or not. Instead, try to maintain length on both sides of your waist. From here into your extended side angle. So bend into your right knee and now bring the right fingertips down to the floor. Bicep along the ear, left fingertips reach to the front of the mat. Use your right bicep to push the knee open a little wider. You should feel it a lot deeper in your hip that way. And this is our preparation. We're pretty much ready. We're gonna go into our Eka Pada 2. Left hand down to the ground, lift your back knee off the mat and widen your right foot a little bit. You might not need to. I find that I need a wider stance. Just like before, wiggle your right arm underneath your leg and then ground the palms. So you can either do what we just did, just practicing floating that right leg up, or you can take your chaturanga push-up and also lift the back leg. So you're trying to split the legs wide open and see if you can keep your left leg close to the ground. Keep reaching. Left toes come down into your plank pose, knee to your shoulder, just like we did before. Three-legged dog, downward facing dog. Great job. Take your flow. Just one more side, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Step into warrior two. Back foot parallel to the short edge of your mat. Rise on up. Palms face down. So gather your strength, your energy, your composure. Maybe that went well, maybe it didn't. It's all good. Some days arm balances just don't work for me, no matter how much I try. And some days feel supernatural. It's all part of the practice. Don't be too hard on yourself if this is a harder day. Sink a little lower. Triangle pose, straighten the left leg. Keep extending your right arm up to the sky. And I like to keep the legs wide so that once we go into extended side angle, I don't need to readjust anything or widen my stance. And let's go to extended side angle. Bend your left knee, left hand down to the ground, right arm reaches up and over. Use your left arm to push the knee open a little wider. Strong through your legs. And let's try Eka Pada 2 on the other side. Right hand down, back heel up. Toe heel your left foot a little bit over to the side. Tiger pause, super important. Left arm underneath your left leg. Ground the hands. You want them at the same height. Start off here. Option 1, just lift your left leg off the mat. Option 2, add the chaturanga arms. Option 3, lift your right leg up. Whoop. And sometimes you fall. I always find one side is so much harder than the other one. Try not to let your head touch the ground. Right toes down, push back up, left knee to your left shoulder. Three-legged dog. Whew. Downward facing dog, our last vinyasa. Downward facing dog. And let's start to slow things down. Pigeon pose, right leg rises. Bring your right knee behind your right wrist. Stretch your left leg back. Whew, that's a hard class to teach and do at the same time. I haven't done a more advanced flow on YouTube for a little while. Lift up through the chest, try to push down into your left hip, and you can hold here or you can just fold it down. So this is a more passive pose. I'm not really engaging my muscles at all. I'm trying to get gravity to do the work for me. Three deep breaths. And start to come back up. Down dog, and before we go and do pigeon on the other side, we're going to give our wrists a little bit of a stretch. So widen your feet a little more than your hips. Walk your hands all the way to the back of the mat. Bend your knees a lot and just step your palms underneath your feet. So all the way there, and then I like to just wiggle the toes and really rock the weight forward into the balls of your feet just to massage the wrists a little bit. And relax your head. Just take a few breaths here. And let's release. Downward dog. We'll go to pigeon on the other side. Left leg up. Left knee to your left wrist. Extend your right leg a little further back. And just level out the pelvis here. So try to ground your right hip to the ground so you're not completely rolling over to the left. And you can hold here, or you can sink it down to the floor. And let's lift back up nice and slow. And once more, we'll take that little wrist stretch. So from your down dog, you can widen the feet a little. Walk your hands to the back of the mat and go ahead and step on your hands. So the back of the hands is facing the ground, palms are facing the soles of your feet. And for this second variation, it might feel good to try and bend your elbows towards your shins while pushing down on your wrists. So you'll probably feel this one going a little further up into the forearms. And let's release the hands, come all the way down. We're going to lower on our back. Knees to your chest, or come into your happy baby pose if that feels a little bit better. Holding onto the soles of the feet. Pushing the knees open wider and dragging the thighs down to the ground. Push your tailbone into the earth without curving into the low back. Really, I'm just trying to keep the entire length of my spine connected to the floor. You can open the feet a little wider. Release the soles of the feet down to the ground, a little bit wider than your hips, and then let both knees drop over to the left, and you can cross your left ankle over the top of your right knee. So you'll probably feel this deeper into your hip flexor, and I like to reach the right arm all the way up. If this is uncomfortable for your knees or even painful for your knees, just take a regular laying spinal twist, letting one knee rest and one thigh rest over the other. Otherwise, left ankle over the right knee, letting it lower down. Bring your right arm back, uncross the legs, lift the knees back up. We'll go to the other side. So drop both knees over to the right. Keep your feet flexed and just cross your right ankle over the top of your left knee. Left arm reaches up overhead. Try to slow down your breathing, slow down your heart rate. Letting yourself unwind after this really powerful practice. Let's bring the left hand back down, uncross and lift the legs. Shavasana, our final resting pose. Take up space with the arms and the legs. And just relax for a few minutes right here. Deepen your breath. Deepen your breath. Re-energizing your body and moving in any little ways that feel good. Taking a great big stretch, reach your arms up overhead, lengthen your toes away from your fingers. And we'll come up to take a seat. You can just roll over on one side, use your arms to help yourself come up. Can you find something to be proud of and grateful for? And it can be as simple as making it all the way to the end of the class. Bring your hands together at the front of the heart. We close with one Om, inhaling to chant. Breathe in. Namaste. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic, beautiful day. Namaste.